One of the most important things that you and I need to know about vision, and I'm Pastor David, lead pastor of the Kingdom Church, serial entrepreneur. I'm here to help you navigate this idea of vision. Vision is something that is inside of you that burns like a fire. But just because it's burning on the inside doesn't mean the people on the outside know what's burning. If you're tired of saying your vision, then the people are just probably starting to hear it. Listen, you can never say it too much. It is so important that you are directional with your vision. As a mogul, as an entrepreneur, you have to be consistent. Consistency is what people buy into. They want to feel like there's a level of trust that I can count that you're going to be consistent. In a world that's always changing, in algorithms that are always switching up, we want to go to a space, we want to buy a product, we want to support a product that is consistent. Listen, consistency is the key. And I want you to know something. Buy-in for vision has many different levels. And I want to kind of walk us through a couple of them. There's an agreement. Like, I like what you're having. I like what you're serving. I like what you're presenting. There's an agreement. You need agreement for people to have buy-in. You can't force agreement. It has to make sense to people. If you are a trainer and you are telling people this is your price, the price has to make sense to the value that they're getting. Listen, how much can you put a price tag on your health? You can't. So me charging you this amount is not obsessive. It's an investment into yourself. Do you want to look better? Is this the ideal look that you want for yourself? Yes, I want that. People who pay, as they say, pay attention. Marcus Y. Rosier, not my original quote. But the reality is that people who pay attention. And so if people are invested, they are going to show up. And a lot of times we feel like we got to discount our vision. And here's the truth. Whatever is cheap is not respected. When people have to pay for something, they end up valuing it. And as a mogul, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you need to understand that people will value what they pay for. Now, I need you to know that vision is about support. I want to help. There are people who want to help your vision go to the next level. Question is how do you invite them into spaces to help you to go to the next level? Because a lot of times we are refusing the help that we need because we feel like we have to be all positions within the company. Sometimes the best form of leadership is delegation. Delegation shows that you're not just a good leader, it also shows that you're wise. You're willing to dispose areas that you're not skilled at to give to someone else who may be more talented or more sophisticated to be able to lead the entity or the enterprise to the place that you wanted to go, that you could not personally take it yourself. You need help. You need help. I know we don't want to ask for help. And a lot of times the reason why we are not growing is because we're not asking for help. There is this real tension that is happening between us having a need and not wanting that need fulfilled by people who can actually fulfill it. But then there's ownership. We need to give people some level of ownership. This is your department. I want you to lead it. I want you to carry it. I want you to take it to the next level. If you don't give people a sense of ownership, they're not going to care for it like it's yours. Sometimes we have to trust people to fail. And if they fail, they'll end up doing it a better job. There's a story about a man who was on the flight. He was responsible for fueling up planes. He made a mistake that could have blew up the jet. They tell him, you cost us a lot of money, this and this and that. They go to the CEO and say, he should be fired. The CEO says, I'm not going to fire him because I can promise you one thing. If we hire someone else, they're going to make that same mistake. But this guy will never make that mistake again. Why? Because sometimes we got to let people fail. They fail into achievement. Now, ownership is so important, but advocacy. You need people that will defend a particular product as if it's their own. They'll defend a vision as if it's their own. Because when people have a sense of buy-in connection to something, they are going to fight for what they believe in. And a lot of times, we are not giving people anything to advocate for. Real buy-in shows up when you're not present. Like, what do people say about your product when you're not in the room? How does people feel about your service when you're not in the room? How do we follow up with people who have already been benefactors of what we've contributed? Success is not just about profit. Success oftentimes is about keeping the people who have supported you. Harvard Business Review says it is 7 to 10 times harder to get a new customer than it is to keep an existing one. It's so much better to feed the people that are feeding you. And in vision, you need people who are advocating for your vision. You need people who have a buy-in to your vision, and you need people who support your vision. And they have to have some level of ownership. I want to encourage you right now that you have a business that your employees need to know what it's about. If you have a product, let your clients try your product. If they try your product, they may be able to sell it better. Oh man, we're going to lose funds because we're letting them try these products. But you cannot be convincing if you are not convinced.